So, let's start with what really happened behind the scenes. Christian Horner's so-called vacation right after the Hungarian Grand Prix wasn't a vacation at all. That's just the story Red Bull pushed to keep things quiet. But if you've been around this sport long enough, you know when something doesn't smell right, and this was one of those moments. The truth is, Horner didn't step away willingly. He was pushed out, dismissed, carefully managed, yes, to avoid headlines and drama. But make no mistake, this was the end of a long internal power struggle, and Red Bull made their move. But here's where things get really interesting. Just days after disappearing from the Red Bull pit wall, Horner pops up in the UK, not in Milton Keynes, where Red Bull is based. No, he's seen in Gaydon, and if you know your F1 geography, that place rings a loud bell. It's the headquarters of Aston Martin. Now, at first glance, this just sounded like a ridiculous rumor. Horner at Aston? Maybe he's just visiting. Maybe he's touring the facilities out of curiosity. But no, it wasn't anything casual like that. Sources from inside the paddock were clear. Horner wasn't looking for a job. He was there as a buyer. That's right, a buyer. Not just looking to join a team, but looking to own a piece of it. And the story escalated fast. A private meeting took place, just Horner and Lawrence Stroll. No staff, no assistants, and a strict NDA signed before a single word of business was exchanged. That's not a casual conversation. That's serious, strategic planning, and it changes everything. Because when a man like Horner, the architect of Red Bull's rise, starts making moves in the shadows, you know something massive is brewing. Let me ask you this. Do you think Red Bull made a mistake letting him go? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm really curious how you see it. And hey, if you're into stories like this one, where F1 gets flipped upside down, make sure you subscribe to Fast News. F1. Your support means everything, and we're pushing hard to hit our goal of 1,000 subscribers. So now that we know Christian Horner wasn't just visiting Aston Martin, he was actually negotiating the buy-in. The next piece of the puzzle is who he met with and what that meeting really meant. That one-on-one with Lawrence Stroll, that wasn't some friendly coffee chat. It was a power move, and it wasn't about just taking over as team principal. This was bigger, much bigger. What Horner is chasing isn't a job, it's ownership. Sources in the paddock are saying the meeting centered around a significant equity stake in Aston Martin F1. That means Horner wouldn't just run the team, he'd be part of the structure, financially invested, with decision-making power at the highest level. That's a complete shift from the traditional team boss role he had at Red Bull. Now, he's going straight to the top. And here's where it gets even crazier. Do you remember the silence that followed Horner's exit? Someone else went completely quiet too. Adrian Newey, the man behind Red Bull's aerodynamic dominance, didn't say a word. No public statements, no I'm staying loyal, nothing. And for Newey, that silence is a message. Insiders are whispering that he's simply running down his contract, staying quiet until it's safe to move. The belief? He's going with Horner, and not just for a paycheck, for a chance to build something revolutionary. This isn't just a former Red Bull giants jumping ship. This is the foundation of a new empire, and the way they're moving, quietly, surgically, without leaks, tells you how serious they are. It's not just about beating Red Bull. It's about dismantling what they built and starting over on their own terms. Let me throw this out to you. If you were starting a brand new F1 powerhouse, would you want Horner and Newey at the helm? Vote in the comments, yes or no. And don't forget, if you're enjoying the inside scoop, hit that subscribe button. Your subscription helps us grow, and we're getting close to that 1,000 subscriber milestone. Thanks to fans like you. Okay, so we've got Horner making ownership moves and Newey likely joining forces with him. But what are they actually building? This isn't just about forming a team. It's about redefining Formula One as we know it. And the heart of this revolution is something they're calling Project Oracle. Sound mysterious? It should. Because what they're working on sounds like science fiction. Except it's real. Project Oracle isn't just about building a fast car. Every team does that. What sets this apart is that it's an AI-assisted Formula One car, the first of its kind. Now, before you think it's just some fancy simulation tech or advanced data modeling, let me stop you. This goes way beyond that. We're talking real-time machine learning inside the car. Live on track. During the race. Imagine this. A car that doesn't just follow preset strategies, but learns from every lap, adjusting its approach in real time. It can adapt its aerodynamics based on weather, predict tire degradation more accurately than any pit wall, and potentially even make better strategic decisions than human engineers. That's what Project Oracle is aiming to do. The car learns, the car adapts, the car thinks. Now, here's where it gets solid. This isn't a theory. A patent has already been filed, not by Aston Martin directly, but through a shell company called Orpheus Dynamics Ltd. Never heard of it. Exactly, but guess who's listed on the official records? Directors with the initial CHN. That's right, Christian Horner and Adrian Newey. And the patent itself describes something that sounds like a literal cheat code, a real-time adaptive telemetry framework for high-speed motorsport environments. Translation: the car adjusts and evolves during the race using its own data. This is no rumor. It's documented. Let me ask you, are you excited about AI in Formula One, or does it feel like it's crossing the line? Vote yes or no in the comments and tell me where you stand. And if you're as blown away as I am, go ahead and like this video. Don't forget to subscribe. We're on a mission to 1,000 subscribers. Your click gets us one step closer. So why Aston Martin? Why not just start a completely new team from scratch? Well, this is where the genius of Horner and Newey's strategy really kicks in. Starting a brand new F1 team today is nearly impossible. You need to build everything from the ground up: factories, wind tunnels, simulations, not to mention getting FIA approval, which could take years. But Aston Martin, it's already built, it's already approved, and it's ready. Aston Martin is top-tier infrastructure. We're talking a brand new state-of-the-art factory at Silverstone, elite simulators, and the kind of engineering base most teams can only dream of. Horner doesn't need to start from zero. He can just walk in and get started, focusing entirely on building what could be the most advanced car on the grid for 2026. And speaking of 2026, that's another critical piece of the puzzle. The regulations are getting a full reset. New aerodynamic rules, new power unit specifications. It's a clean slate, and Horner and Newey are positioning themselves to be miles ahead. While everyone else is stuck fighting tooth and nail over 2025 development, Project Oracle is laser focused on the next era. They're planning to use AI from the very beginning, designing every piece of the car with machine learning in mind. But they're not doing it alone. There's talk of a potential reunion with Honda, the same engine supplier that helped power Red Bull's dominance. Honda's set to return to F1 in 2026, and the whispers say they might link up with Horner at Aston Martin. If that happens, you've got elite leadership, revolutionary tech, and a proven power unit all in one package. And guess who knew about all of this? Fernando Alonso. Yep. Sources suggest he was aware of Project Oracle before Hungary, and that explains everything. The sudden shift in his attitude, the confident interviews, and that contract extension through 2026. He's not just sticking around, he's betting everything on that car. So what do you think? Can Alonso actually win his third title with this project? Drop a comment and let's see who believes. And hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. We're growing Fast News F1 into your go-to spot for stories like this. Let's hit 1,000 subscribers together. If you're Red Bull right now, you're not just nervous, you're in full-blown damage control. The moment it became clear that Horner was serious about joining Aston Martin and that Adrian Newey might follow, alarm bells went off across the Red Bull campus. This isn't just about losing key personnel. It's about potentially watching the DNA of your entire operation walk out the door and rebuild itself somewhere else. Internal audits were launched. Immediately, leadership started digging to see which other engineers might be preparing their exits. And the rumors are loud. At least 3 senior aerodynamicists are already on their way out. These are people who helped shape Red Bull's dominant car philosophy. And now, they're reportedly joining Horner and Newey at what's quietly being referred to as the Oracle Base, a new high-security R&D facility outside Silverstone, disguised as a generic testing center, but local reports say it's anything but low-key. Tight security, no photos, high secrecy. It's real. Meanwhile, Mercedes is watching all this with clenched fists. And here's the jaw-dropper. Horner apparently pitched Project Oracle to Toto Wolff before going to Aston Martin. Yep, he offered the AI car concept to Mercedes first, and they turned it down. Too radical? Too much risk? Who knows? But now Mercedes is watching what could have been their future being built by someone else. And the FIA? Let's just say they're sweating. because Project Oracle doesn't break any rules. Yet, real-time AI strategy isn't specifically banned, and that gray area is exactly what Horner and Nui are targeting. But regulators are worried. What does it mean for fairness? For driver skill? If a car is making smarter decisions than the team on the pit wall, where do you draw the line? And then there's the quote, reportedly from someone close to Horner himself. "They built Red Bull around me. Now I'll build something to destroy it." That's not competition. That's revenge. This isn't just about winning races. It's about tearing down the empire he helped build and replacing it with something completely new. Now, I want your take. Is this the future you want for Formula One? More tech? Less driver influence? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you've been hooked all the way through, it's time. Subscribe to Fast News F1 and help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers. Let's take this ride together.